Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Sharon Jones coming to you for this week's Byte Minute. Up on the screen, we see the visual review of computational thinking with the 4 concepts that, again, drive the whole notion behind what is computational thinking and how we're using it in computer science. Decomposition, pattern recognition, abstraction, and algorithm design. Keep those elements in mind as we talk about this week's computational thinking activity. We are going to take a look at something that's very common to what we use every day now, and that is emojis. So this activity leverages the concept of emoji storytelling. So you can think about whenever we send a message to one another, especially now, we tend to use emojis to show I love you, I'm happy, I'm sad, and even beyond that, we also have the Bitmoji, which is an image of ourselves. So there's 4 elements that you could choose from this particular activity. So as you can see here, it says emoji storytelling. Emojis are becoming more complex with greater variety every year. So start off with some of the simplest symbols. In addition, familiarizing children with the technological form of communication also teaches them how to better interpret emotions and icons. Remember many years ago when we all studied about the proper way in which to send an email and how you responded with either all caps or no all caps, or either if you put an exclamation point? The same concept rings true here for our students, except for they're using a visual display. So the 4 elements that you can add here to this particular storytelling concept is A, tell a story. Sometimes it's hard to tell what each emoji is trying to communicate. So you could give them a couple of examples and have them decompose the problem. Tell them they have the 3 particular emojis and they've got to tell you the story behind it. They'll begin to pattern match and abstract and then come up with the algorithmic design of what the story is. Name it. They're able to name their story or name their icon if there's not a name for it. Then you can even have them practice. Have them practice making the face with one another. They will get lots of giggles, I promise. If they can make the face, then it makes it a little easier for them to understand what the emoji is saying. Again, it's just another way of showing communication. And the last thing is to actually then go in and design the actual Bitmoji or emoji. And this may be a place where you could go and use Makerspace to create that Bitmoji. Now, you may be thinking, well, this is a little bit English focused, and it is, but I want you to think also about integrating this into your social studies. Think about communities or things that were popular during a certain time frame, and how could you think about the Bitmoji or emoji that would go around that particular content. For science, you could use it to actually identify some of the top scientists that have made very pertinent inventions and helped our scientific community over the years. Those could be your emojis if you wanted them to be. There is no right or wrong to this particular exercise. What we want them to think about is you give them the problem of a set of emojis. Tell them to tell the story. They come up with, the problem is telling the story. They've got to find the pattern among the emojis, abstract out what they think each of those emojis mean and how that story comes together, and then they're going to create that algorithm. So this week's Byte Minute is focused around implementing the computational activity emoji storytelling. I'd love to see what you guys come up with, and the content of this particular activity will be provided via email. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you next week.